Welcome to Peoria Connections, the monthly television show of the Peoria Chamber of Commerce. I'm Scott Soldat, President and CEO of the Peoria Chamber. We have an exciting show for you today, including the Peoria Job Fair that's coming up next month. We're going to be talking about the Beer Festival right here at the Sports Complex, and also about senior wellness using Tai Chi. Today we're talking about the job fair coming up right here in Peoria, and I have several guests with me today. Mark Sander, thanks for joining us, from Goodwill, Debbie Pearson from the City of Peoria, and Justin Jones from Maricopa Workforce Connections. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
So let's get started. Let's talk about this job fair that's on November 8th, and we really want to make sure that lots of people are showing up for it. Mark, you're from Goodwill, and people always think of Goodwill as a place to maybe donate their items or look for some household items, but you're here to talk about jobs.
Yep, and that's Goodwill's goal overall. Our mission statement is to put people to work, and we've been doing that for over 100 years, and we do that inside of our Goodwill stores, as well as matching job seekers with the employers that they're looking for. And this event here is going to give us an opportunity to match up what we hope to be about 2,500 job seekers with over 150 to 200 employers. It'd be a great opportunity.
That's fantastic. And when you talk about job seekers, what should someone expect to experience when they come to the job fair?
Well, Scott, I can tell you it's going to be a well-organized event. There's going to be employers from all different industries offering all types of positions, full-time, part-time, seasonal, and we're also offering a few extras. We have a re-education, a retraining area. It's called the Educational Corner, where colleges and universities will be offering information about their schooling. We'll also have an entrepreneurial corner, which will be the organizations that offer free services if someone's interested in starting their own business as opposed to getting employed elsewhere. There will be free SBA will be there, Greater Phoenix SCORE, Small Business Development Center of Maricopa Community Colleges, and it'll be a wonderful event. Also, one more thing is there's going to be workshops. If somebody needs some tips on how to, interviewing skills, we've got the workshop for that, and we're going to run those all day long.
Excellent. Now, Justin, people often wonder, how do I get ready for a job fair? What should I expect? How do I dress? What should my resume look like? And there's so many issues that job seekers have. Could you touch on some of those for us?
There are a lot of issues that, and some anxiety that comes up for people when especially if it's their first job fair. So one thing to expect, there's going to be a lot of people there, and there's going to be a lot of lines. So what you want to do is you want to really work on your networking skills, talking to the people in the line, because a lot of them are going to be job seekers. But last year, we even had employers that showed up who were talking to people while they were in the line. So you just don't know who it is that you're going to be meeting at a job fair. And it's a fantastic opportunity to network and get to know people. Other things to expect to dress your best. If you want to stand out amongst the crowd, then come dressed as if you were going to an interview. This is going to be outside, so you may want to slap on some sunscreen as well. But
That's a good point.
You do want to be prepared that way. You want to have a resume put together, and Goodwill and Maricopa Workforce Connection can help you with that. We have classes that you can come to before the job fair.
Okay.
So definitely get on the website and check out maricopaworkforceconnection.com. See when the workshops are, interviewing skills, resume writing, job search tips. All of those things are available before you ever go to the job fair. You do want to have a nice resume put together, and so we can help with that. Other things that you're going to want if you are going to the job fair, be prepared. Do some research on who are the companies that are actually going to be there. If you recognize that somebody that you are very interested in speaking to, you may go to their website and do some research. What positions do you know they already have available? You may pre-apply or apply online so that when you're talking to that recruiter or that representative from that company, you're already a step ahead, because they'll generally tell you, instead of taking your resume, why don't you go ahead and apply online? Well, you can turn around and say, you know what, I already did that. Can you give me a little bit more information about the time frames or what it is you're looking for? It just puts you a few steps ahead of perhaps other people in that line.
And when you talk about applying online, job seekers are often screened without ever getting to stand in front of that employer or that HR representative. So coming to the job fair is a perfect way to separate yourself from the other candidates they're looking at.
Well, and in addition to that, once they have applied online, that separation does take place because rather than just having an email address or something that you're looking at, you're speaking face-to-face with a representative from that company. So you can make that actual connection in person rather than online. So many people complain these days about where is the front door, there's no way to get in touch with these employers. This is a perfect opportunity for you to be in touch with those employers.
That's great advice, great advice. Now, the companies that are coming to this event, I know we're ahead of schedule. We've got more companies than we were expecting at this point, and there's still some room for more as well. Can you touch on some of those?
Sure, I'd like to take that. So far, we've got Cox, Macayos, Fry's Foods, Schwab, 5 Star Concrete, AFR Home Loans, Farmers Insurance, PetSmart, QCN, PepsiCo, Lowe's, U-Haul, Circle K, several recruiting firms that will have a whole listing of positions available.
Great.
We also have several state, city, and county agencies that will be offering opportunities also. Now, the reason I mention these and they're so different from one another is that's the point. If you're interested in banking or service work, there's going to be a large variety of what's being offered for the attendee.
Small, large companies as well. So even a small company that may only be looking for 1 or 2 employees, they definitely need to get involved in this job fair.
Oh, absolutely.
They are welcome.
And one thing I would recommend too is if you're taking the time to come down to this event, take the time to meet with each and every one of the employers that are there. Each employer, you may have an idea. For instance, let's say Goodwill. You're going to think, oh, Goodwill automatically retail store. Oh, I don't want to work in retail, so I'm not going to go to Goodwill. However, we have a corporate office that employs nearly 200 people. So we have a marketing department, we have a finance department, we have an IT department. We have all these great opportunities, and we also have management level in our retail stores, and then entry level. So if you really are looking for an entry level position, you could come in, we can help you with that. But if you're a professional and you're looking to continue your career, we have opportunities for that as well. So don't look at a company and say, this is all that they have to offer. When you see a company the size of Goodwill, we employ over 2,000 people. We have 51 stores throughout the valley and a corporate office. So we have opportunities across the board for all different levels of employment.
That's an excellent point.
I can't stress that enough. I hear that from employers all the time. They think we're pigeonholed into, you mentioned Circle K. I would take that list if I were you, and I would start looking up those companies online now and see what kind of positions they have. Because training opportunities, admin positions, all of these companies do have those functions, but people are not used to thinking that way because they're used to the advertising that they might see. So really think beyond or outside the box when you're looking at these employers. I know that there will be specific employers there who have told my participants in my classes, I have all sorts of positions, but unless you ask me about them, you may not see them on the paper out there on the table.
All great points.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being here today. I'm really excited about the upcoming job
gonna be
fair.
great.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be a fun one.
And we really want to be sure we encourage employers and job seekers to take the time to come out and participate. Thanks so much for being here today. Mark from Goodwill, Debbie from the City of Peoria, and Justin from Maricopa Workforce Connections. We are so excited about the upcoming job fair.
Thank you.
Thank you for
It's been a
inviting us.
pleasure.
Are you out of work or looking to improve your career? It's time to make your career happen. Attend the Job and Opportunity Fair on Thursday, November 8th at the Peoria Sports Complex and be introduced to more than 50 prospective employers, as well as gain career-building information with workshops designed to help you be the best job prospect. The Job and Opportunity Fair is brought to you by the City of Peoria in partnership with Maricopa Workforce Connections and Goodwill Industries. Join us on Thursday, November 8th at the Peoria Sports Complex. It's time to make your career happen.
Today we're talking about holiday crime prevention, and Doug Hildebrandt from the Peoria Police Department is here. Doug, thanks for joining me.
Scott, thank you for having me.
So with the holidays coming up, I know I was in Target the other day and they've already got the Christmas decorations out. There's a lot going on when it comes to retailers being concerned about theft and crime prevention. Could you tell us a little bit about what the Peoria Police Department is doing?
Yes, Scott, what the Peoria Police Department is doing is we implement what's called the predictive policing model, and what that is, it's our opportunity to deploy our resources in an effort to reduce crime from occurring. We don't want to be reactive, we want to prevent crime from occurring to begin with. So under this particular strategy, what we do is we look at the prior history of crime and calls for service in all of our shopping areas that occurred last holiday season. And from that, we develop a plan that we put in place on how we deploy our resources, when we deploy them, and where we deploy them. And by doing so, under this predictive policing concept, it reduces the opportunity for crime to ever to have occurred.
And that's really important for the retailers in Peoria and throughout the valley. But the retail store managers, the assistant managers, and the employees really need to be in touch with what they can do to prevent. And you've got a summit coming up where we're going to talk more about that.
We are. We have a summit coming up, and I'll be happy to discuss that with you shortly. But in short, we're asking the merchants for 1 hour of their time to invest with us on November 15th between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning, where we sit down and we go over a multitude of different strategies that they can employ at their businesses to help reduce crime.
And what are some basic things that a retail store manager or employee can do to really help deter crime?
Well, in brief, but I can tell you that what we like them to do is take a hard look at their current business practices. What are they doing currently, and what better can they do to prevent crime from occurring within their business? So it's looking at the store layout. It's things as simple as, do I have too many obstructions in my windows where people can't see in, or police when they drive by from the outside? Mm-hmm. Additionally, what we'd like them to do is consider strategies such as, how much money do I leave in my cash drawer? How often do we pull money from those cash drawers and we do our bank deposits? And also employee safety as it pertains to the employees being safe within their business and their customers coming into the business. Is the outside of their business well lit, so in the evening their customers feel comfortable coming to the store, and just as important, when they leave the store, to walk back out to their car in the evening. So
you're really getting into some key details, not just surface things, but you're talking about cash management and other issues about running the store to really deter crime.
Correct, as well as strategies that we're going to use that involve identifying counterfeit currency, fraudulent credit cards, fraudulent checks. Mm-hmm. So things that will help prevent them from becoming a victim and suffering a loss themselves.
So this summit is going on November 15th at Third Place Grill.
Third Place Grill, and that's at 83rd Avenue and Mariner Way from 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. We're asking for just a 1 hour investment of their time to help us deter and prevent crime from occurring in the business districts, certainly all year long, but even more importantly during the holidays when we see an increase in travel as well as traffic.
And this is the store manager, assistant manager, operations manager are really the key people that we'd like at least one person to come out and attend this.
Yes, so they could give us one representative, and then they can take all this information back and share it with their employees.
And there's absolutely no charge?
There's absolutely no charge. We'd love to have them show up.
Great, and they will be able to register on the Peoria Chamber website? Correct.
They can either call the Peoria Chamber of Commerce, so they can go to the website and register online, and of course, again, there is no cost associated with this.
Excellent. Doug, thanks for being here today and for talking about this really important topic with the holiday seasons coming up.
Scott, it was my pleasure.
United Kung Fu is here again on Peoria Connections with a whole team, and today we're talking about wellness. I'd like to introduce Master Instructor Jerry Dibble.
Hey, thanks, Scott, for having us back on your show.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here today.
And let me introduce my team. This is Dr. Melanie Lane. She's a geriatrician. This is Head Instructor Dane Bowles and Head Instructor Mary Pegg.
Welcome.
They're all black belts inside of our system that we train in, and we're here today to talk a little bit more about some new programs we have. We opened a new company called United Tai Chi, and we're working a little more with, it's United Tai Chi and Wellness, and we're working a little more with the senior population. And Dr. Lane, would you like to jump in here?
Yes, yes. We have created a really unique program specifically for senior citizens or people who have chronic medical conditions, things like heart disease, emphysema, balance problems, and so on. And what we've done is we have created a program that combines the best of Eastern and Western thinking to the challenge of improving health and longevity. Mm-hmm. So what that looks like is we have collaborated with a group of Tai Chi masters and grandmasters, as well as medical doctors, neurologists, rheumatologists, geriatricians, to put together a program to help these people get more physically active.
That's so important, isn't it? because as they become less active, additional health problems start to occur, don't they?
Absolutely. The less active we become, the more medical conditions accrue, or the more problems we have. But more importantly for the senior population is they become weaker, more unbalanced, and more likely to fall. And a fall and a broken hip can be catastrophic for a senior citizen. And what we do is we help to restore their balance, strength, endurance, and flexibility to keep them up and independent, mobile, and avoiding falls.
That's amazing. I've seen in my own family, my grandmother who's turning 90 and probably wouldn't want me to tell anyone that, when she goes to the senior center and does aerobics and some type of a workout, that her flexibility and her movement is so much better, and she feels better and has more energy. So tell us what some of the results are that you've received already.
Would you like to
Sure.
share?
We had a woman come in not too long ago, about 2.5 months ago, and she had to make the decision to leave the walker in the trunk of the car when she came in. And she came in, and now she's able to stand on one foot for 20 seconds and hold her balance. And
Wow.
she's 80. And she said, "Hey, master instructor, look, I can do this now." She did that, and she said, and I was, ha, you know, kind of, whoa, hey, you know, expecting her to jump out, do the flying
Sure.
splits or something, you know, but no. But that was amazing, and she's moving much faster, and she's walking backwards and doing things that, you know, it just goes to show that a lot of times we don't include ourselves in our retirement plan. You know, so we have these protocols so that not only can we restore people that are nursing themselves back to health. For instance, I have another student who's getting a knee replacement this week. He'll be in class in 2 weeks to do some training and stuff, and he's not a senior. But we'll help him rebuild his knees and rebuild his lower body and stay in shape while he's going through his rehab process. We also help people to live longer, higher quality of life, so we have the longevity aspect to the arts, as well as just the internal cultivation and becoming more and more aware of your surroundings and gaining energy so you can achieve more in life.
And the medical aspect allows you to assess each person as they come in and be able to design a program that works for them.
Absolutely, Scott. We're even working in conjunction at this point with Banner Alzheimer's Institute. And we're talking about putting some classes in the Institute. And we're already running our own independent case studies for each person that comes in. So everybody gets the attention that they need, and they get tracked, and it's the whole thing. So we are very hands-on in the restorative process.
That's excellent. Thanks to everyone for being here today from United Kung Fu.
Thank you so much for having me,
Thank
Scott.
you.
Dan Shea is here from Theater Works, and he's the executive director and been in your position for what, about a year?
Oh, well, not even 7 or 8 months.
Oh, wow.
Action-packed 7 or 8 months.
Dan, thanks for joining me on the show today.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on at Theater Works.
Well, you know, people know Theater Works because it's been around for 26 years. We're the resident theater company at the Peoria Center for the Performing Arts. And we do Masterworks, which is our series of plays and musicals with performers, both union equity professionals and people drawn from the community, both engaged in our work. We also have Youth Works, which is our program of shows done by kids, for kids, and also for adults. And then we have a full set of classes and camps and things like that. So there's always something going on at Theater Works.
So what are some of the youth programs that you have?
Well, we have what we call our Kids Alive program. That's a performing troupe. Think Glee.
Everyone can identify with that.
Well, and actually, Matthew Morrison, the guy who plays the teacher on Glee, is a graduate of a Theater Works class.
Oh,
actually.
wow.
You know, many long years ago, he came out of Theater Works. It's kind of fun to know that. So we have camps during the summertime. We have classes year-round, and we have these performing troupes as well. 3 of them.
How long has Theater Works been in the Valley?
26 years here in the West Valley, and now 7 years, entering our 7th season at the Peoria Center for the Performing Arts.
Oh, excellent. Now, at the beginning of next year, you have a world premiere coming up.
Yes, we do. We have a play called Burning in the Night, and it was written by a gentleman named Dale Wasserman, who was the author of Man of La Mancha. Most people have heard of that. And Dale, in his early youth, 13, 14, 15, rode the rails as a hobo back in the Depression. He wasn't a bum. He always was very careful to draw that distinction. Bums are people who are freeloaders. Hobos are people who are traveling looking for work. And he rode these Santa Fe Railroad tracks right down here, right past us, back in the 1930s. He turned his memoirs, and a local playwright, Richard Warren, helped him turn his memoirs into a play with some great American folk music in it. And that will be our world premiere in January and February.
That's really exciting. Can't wait to hear more about it. And on October 26th, we have Chamber Night at Theater Works.
I'm so delighted about that. You'll be part of our production of The Music Man, which has just opened and runs through the end of October, the great American musical, 76 trombones, so on and so forth. And it's just a fun, fun show. So far, it's been playing 3 nights, 3 standing ovations. The audiences are really, really responding to it. And we're very happy to be able to partner as members of the Chamber, with the Chamber, on a special event that will bring Chamber members together and celebrate one of America's greatest musicals.
Absolutely, in a beautiful theater in Old Town Peoria.
Lovely theater, and I'm really looking forward to that event. Still tickets available.
Great. Thanks for joining me on the show today, Dan.
Always a pleasure.
Daryl Montgomery is here from We Care Urgent Care and Palo Verde Family Medicine. Daryl, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about We Care Urgent Care and how that transformed into your newest adventure.
Well, I'm happy to do so. We Care Urgent Care opened up 2 years ago. We just celebrated our 2nd year anniversary. We are a full-service urgent care, extended hours, 7 days a week. We have great providers, great staff, a very nice facility. And since we've opened, we've had 8,000 different folks come through the doors.
Wow.
And about a third of those, actually more than a third, have said to our providers, hey, I don't have a primary care doctor. Can you help me there? And unfortunately, in an urgent care setting, it's acute needs. We're dealing with people with immediate needs. It's on a walk-in basis. But we felt compelled, Dr. Sloan, who's my brother-in-law, and I felt compelled to do something that we, for that continuity of care. And it just so happens there was a nice space right next door to We Care Urgent Care. We've done the build out and have expanded, and we're now offering primary care for our patients and for new patients as well at Palo Verde Family Medicine. It's right adjacent to We Care Urgent Care.
And so you're up and running.
We are. We're up and running. We've been open since the latter part of July. We started seeing patients. A lot of them, of course, came over from We Care Urgent Care. They're familiar with Dr. Sloan and our staff here, and it felt like home to them. We're very excited about that. But since we've opened, we've also added a whole bunch of new patients, and Dr. Sloan continues to see new patients.
And urgent care facilities are somewhat of a growing trend in the medical community. You see them on many different corners now.
Right.
Do you see some also that are opening family practice as well?
Well, I don't. Not in the West Valley.
So that's very unique.
Yeah, we have maybe a little bit of advantage there, and that continuation of care is very important to us. We really appreciate our patients and want to help them the best we can, but there are some things that obviously acute needs are one thing and chronic needs are another. And the fact that we can now help patients and their families and with the primary care as well. I think our patients really appreciate that, and that service that we provide has really been really good for us.
And you're located at 75th Avenue in Thunderbird?
Right.
On the south side of the street?
Yeah, kind of the southwest corner where we have a little construction going on right now. The city of Peoria is making the street a little bit wider for us, and we're working through that. But we have curbside parking, lots of availability as far as that's concerned. It's easy in and out. We try to staff both the urgent care and the primary care so that our patients, the wait, sometimes that horror stories you hear of the emergency room waits, all that kind of stuff, we staff so that you may be in and out within an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most.
Great.
And we offer other services there, on-site pharmacy, we have digital x-ray, we have on-site lab. In other words, we try to give all the tools that our providers need to be able to help their patients right away and get them back on their healing process and back home where they might be feeling better right away.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me on the show today, Daryl.
Scott, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Are you out of work or looking to improve your career? It's time to make your career happen. Attend the Job and Opportunity Fair on Thursday, November 8th at the Peoria Sports Complex and be introduced to more than 50 prospective employers, as well as gain career-building information with workshops designed to help you be the best job prospect. The Job and Opportunity Fair is brought to you by the City of Peoria in partnership with Maricopa Workforce Connections and Goodwill Industries. Join us on Thursday, November 8th at the Peoria Sports Complex. It's time to make your career happen.
Today we're talking about the upcoming Beer Fest. Bridget Binsbacher, Executive Director of the Peoria Diamond Club, is joining me. Bridget, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the Beer Fest. It's coming up in less than a month.
Yes, it'll be here before we know it. We're very excited about this event this year. It is our third annual Peoria Beer Festival. And probably the most important fact is that this is a nonprofit or a charitable event. And the Peoria Diamond Club is hosting the event in partnership with Peoria North Rotary. So the funds that we raise are going to support Northwest Valley youth charities and organizations, literacy advocacy, and some other humanitarian programs supported by Peoria North Rotary. So it is
Excellent.
A charitable event. It's a fundraiser.
That's really neat. And it's on November 3rd at the Sports Complex.
Mm-hmm.
And what can people expect when they go?
So we have our VIP, which is a designated area. That's a $55 ticket, and that's all inclusive. So all the beer and wine is included in that, the food, there's a masseuse in that area,
Oh, wow.
a caricaturist, and it's an exclusive area, and people with VIP tickets can come and go to that area. So we've also partnered with Yellow Cab, who will be our exclusive transportation sponsor, and they're going to help us to offer safe rides to all of our guests for the evening. So, and then throughout the event and the community, you'll see signage by Westside Signorama, who's also supporting the event.
Great. So you've got quite a few sponsors, and you changed up the ticket process this year as well.
We did.
So once you get in, then all of the beer and wine is free, and the food is extra?
Yes, it is. $3 to $5 for a hearty sample from any one of the restaurants.
And what are some of the restaurants?
We have Arizona Broadway Theater, Texas Roadhouse, and they're returning. We have Cucina Tagliani, I believe, is going to be supporting the event. We have some other prospects that are trying to see if they can work it in to their marketing budget. Humble Pie is one of the new businesses in Peoria that we've talked to, and a lot that are returning, but a lot of new restaurants too that we're trying to bring on board.
So good sampling of different types of food for people.
Yes.
So something for everyone.
Right.
Sounds like a fun event. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us. We're excited.
Father Michael Pallett is here on Peoria Connections from St. Arolimbos Church to talk about the upcoming Greek Festival.
Right.
Father, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So on October 26th, 27th, and 28th, you have this huge event that's going on.
It's we call it a Taste of Greece, and we present a weekend of Greek culture, primarily food and dancing. We have a live band. We have some of the kids from the church do exhibition folk dancing. But it's primarily the Greek food and culture for the entire weekend, Friday night through Sunday night.
Wow, that sounds like fun. How many people do you expect to come through?
Well, we had in the past several thousand that come through the entire weekend. I don't know the exact number, but there's a large crowd that comes through.
And you're located at Pinnacle Peak and 83rd Avenue?
The address is 7950, just 2 blocks east of 83rd and Pinnacle Peak.
Great. And now your proceeds, I saw some of them are going to the West Valley Child Crisis Center.
Right. We started that last year where a portion went to the West Valley Child Crisis Center, and this year half of the admissions will go to the West Valley Child Crisis Center.
Well, that's a great organization, isn't it?
They do good things.
So admission is $3.
$3, and then children under 12, students with ID, active military, they'll get in for free.
And what does $3 get someone when they come into it?
When you come in, there are just basically booths lined up throughout the parking area. And there are booths for complete lamb and chicken dinners. There are gyro sandwiches. There's souvlaki. And then we have a separate booth for pastries. All the pastries, all the food is cooked fresh. And the pastries are tried and tested family traditions. Everything is homemade, and it's just excellent, excellent food.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It actually sounds really good right now because we're at about lunchtime. The food that is cooked now, you were telling me before the interview that you've already started with some of it.
Right.
Because you have your volunteers in the church actually cooking.
All the volunteers. Many of our families have a Greek background. Okay, so they have these family recipes that have been handed down for generations. So the food is totally authentic Greek recipes, and they're cooking throughout the day right now and for the next several weeks.
So people should bring their families, come and have a good time. Is there an extra charge for the food once they get inside?
No.
So it's all included in that
sorry.
admission price.
Yes, it's $3 just to get in. The food is from I think $5 or $6 for sandwiches, up to the complete lamb dinner. I think is $9 is the most expensive item. But there's also rides and games for the kids. I do some church tours throughout the weekend to let people know who we are as an Orthodox Christian church. So there's just a nice variety for the whole family.
Great. So the Greek Festival, October 26th, 27th, and 28th.
28th or 25th annual.
Thanks for being here with me today, Father.
Thanks for having me.
Today on Peoria Connections, we're talking about Benevilla and the Festival of Cheer. And with me, I have Tina Wilson from Benevilla and Kelly Johnson from Wells Fargo. So tell us a little bit about Benevilla.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting us, Scott. We're
Absolutely.
happy to
Thanks
be
for
here.
joining us.
Benevilla is a human service nonprofit that's been in the West Valley for 31 years.
Wow.
And we're taking care of people of all ages, and that includes enriching lives and keeping people living independently in their own homes.
Excellent.
We have 6 adult day centers that specialize in early memory loss, late memory loss, 2 facilities for disabled adults, and 2 restorative care facilities.
And I've heard you have about 800 volunteers.
We have almost 800
Almost.
volunteers. We have less than 100 employees, so we truly are a nonprofit that is cultivating caring communities.
That's incredible. So if someone does want to get involved and wants to help, what can they do?
They can just call us or visit us on our website. We actually are always growing. We have 6 locations. We just opened our 7th location in the West Valley. 2 of those are in Peoria. We also opened Bert's Bistro, which is a social enterprise arm of our nonprofit that will help us generate more revenue to support more folks in the community. I want to share with you also that the first year we helped 250 people, and last year we provided over 20,000 acts of kindness.
Wow.
So our volunteers are so critical to what the mission of Benevilla is.
Volunteers are really important. There's so many great volunteers here in the West Valley.
Yes.
Okay, so the Festival of Cheer is on December 8th, and you've got cultures from around the world represented. And what does that look like in terms of the event?
Well, we'll have different dance groups from, we'll have Mexican folkloric dancing, belly dancing.
Wow, that's exciting. Now you have some things for kids as well.
We do. We will have snow, lots of snow, over 20 tons. Santa will be there. We'll have inflatables, about 9 or 10 different inflatables for the kids to bounce around on.
So they can have a great time, throw some snowballs. Are they able to play in the snow as much as they want?
They can play in the snow. They can make snowballs, get their parents, have some fun with it, get their brother or sister.
Excellent. So this is out at the sports complex off of third base?
Off the third base concourse, yes.
Okay. And it goes on for how long?
From 10 to 3.
Great. Great. And if people want to register, can they buy tickets online or do they need to call? Or
they can buy tickets online at festivalofcheer.com. Tickets will also be sold at the door. They are $5 for children. Children 6 and under are free. Adults are $7, and the family 4-pack is $20.
Great. And this is the 4th year, and you're expecting how many people?
About 4,000 people.
Wow.
It's grown by about 500 people each year since it started 4 years ago.
What a great multicultural event here in Peoria.
Yes, and it's for a worthy cause, Benevilla.
Excellent. Thanks to both of you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you, Scott.
Well, that's our show for this month. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us at the Chamber. And thanks again for watching Peoria Connections.